Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer California, Los Angeles, to be pseudo-specific. My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, and this right here that you are watching is called the T-NAM Daily Show here on the New American Media. Who is John Galt? Remember that? You remember what this is from? Who is John Galt? Question of the day. What is that from? Haven't worn this shirt in a while. Whew. Welcome. Feels good wearing this shirt. I had to kind of reassess what I was doing, and I've been able to wear a bunch of clothing that I haven't worn in a little while. And I'm feeling better. I'm feeling good. I've been able to take take steps to improve my health a little bit. And I'm happy about that. Why is this not connecting online? This is weird. Oh, that's why, because that button needs pressed. Okay. Thank you for joining us. We all care about the future, about humanity. We need to care about ourselves and take care of we have one vehicle. You know, I'm going to need an oil change on my 4Runner. You know, you have one vehicle, this spirit that inhabits the vehicle that we have, this self-replicating, self-healing, in many cases, vehicle. Yeah, haven't worn this shirt in a while. Frankly, it hasn't fit me comfortably in a little while. But yeah, we get really used to having 3 big meals a day, and we just don't need that. Never take health or fitness advice from me. Consult your doctor. But really, my relationship with consumption of food has had to change. Occasional fasting, occasional intermittent fasting. It's been good. But yeah, I've had this shirt for a long time. Who is John Galt in the comments? Oh, Marion does not know. Marion, oh, what did she say? Here, let me put the comments up. Hello, everybody. Oh, great news. Drum roll, please. Can you tap your fingers at work? Can you go? Or if you're around the house, or if you're in your car, or you're mowing the grass. All right, guess what? Here's the news. We've been accepted into the YouTube program, so we've been able to monetize. Now they're checking the things that we've monetized and seeing whatever, and they're about ready to let us do it. We'll have like 4 different donation tiers and subscriptions available on Google AdSense, where we can earn revenue on YouTube, which is our #1 platform, but they, have been openly hostile. You could say for reasons unknown, or you could say for reasons completely obvious. However, the political persecution of normal Americans feels like we've turned a corner, at least temporarily, to bring back a little bit of sanity on that topic. It's not really a distinction and a discrimination against conservatives or the right or the far right or MAGA or Republicans. I don't even like these terms. I don't like the Republican Party. MAGA in theory and MAGA in a lot of quantifiable results, yet a bunch of confusion on some major things that are happening / not happening, such as where are the files and where are the GD arrests? Where are the mass incarcerations of the people who've been committing open treason to destroy and fundamentally transform the United States of America into something unimaginable, into some sort of hellscape in a post-apocalyptic world represented by this quote, who is John Galt? Question of the day. Come on. Type in the comments. Who knows what this is? Who is John Galt? Type it in the comments. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Click the share button. Shoot it over as a text to one of your friends, one of your neighbors, one of your buddies, someone else that you know who feels roughly the same way that we do about just unpacking the news and the proper framing of this experience. That's either a video game, a simulation, some divine experiment, some absolutely random happenstance where, there was a big bang and then nothing created everything. Well, that's a great concept there. That makes a ton of sense, science. I'm the science. Trust the science. Okay, I'm Fauci. Yeah, Fauci needs to be sent to Alcatraz. Indict Fauci. Hashtag indict Fauci. I'm not going to tell you what this is. I will tell you, Marion Cook, but someone, come on, type it. Who is John Galt? See, this is where I would tell you the story, but I'm waiting for someone in chat to tell me who is John Galt. Hello, David, Marion, Trash Panda, Patriot Warrior. Who else is in here? All the people. Welcome. Come on, bar's open. Grab your seats. We're going to talk about the stuff up on the screens here. I'm your bartender. You are the regulars. Thank you for being here. As always, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, just so you know, there are donation links. Patreon. We are the New American Media on Patreon. Thank you to our current roster of subscribers, and thank you to you out there. Maybe you're watching us for the first time, or maybe you've been here a couple times, or maybe you're one of the regulars, but thank you to everyone who will join up to participate as a Patreon member in the future. It's really cool because we know what to expect. We can budget on a monthly basis. And the more of you that sign up, the more it takes care of a lot of the month-to-month expenses, just the standard general operating budget. Why do I have a fly in here? What is this? I haven't had flies all season, but like the past couple days, I've found them. Anyway. Also, we have a tip jar on Venmo, Cash App. It's my name, Brian Engelman. And then, of course, on PayPal at the email fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. That's all scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Quick programming note. I want to tell you that Strictly Football, let me get you a graphic here. That is the show that I have been doing with Mike Barra from Toxically Masculine Tuesday and the Ancient Alien series and all sorts of stuff. You've heard him on Coast to Coast AM, as you've heard me as well. But yeah, we do a show called Strictly Football with Jim Mitchell and Ezrael Robinson. So we've done 3 episodes now. This is just a placeholder for episode 1. We had to reschedule for some travel concerns this week. We intend to go live on Friday. It's either at 2:30 or 3:30. I'm trying to figure out because they're 2 hours behind, and I want to make sure East Coast, EST and MST. I think they're Mountain Standard Time in Las Vegas. Right? That does switch an hour, doesn't it? I've gone from LA to Vegas several times. I'm just trying to remember, was there an hour difference? I don't quite remember because Vegas is that type of place. You walk out of the place you're in, and the sun has been up for a long time and the world is bustling, and you go, whoa, this has been a long night. That's happened in Vegas before, so I don't really keep track of time. But please keep track of the New American Media at all the places below that are scrolling. We're on all the platforms. Except TikTok. I know. I got to get a TikTok. I got to get Gen Z. TikTok TNAM. But follow us in the places. On today's show, we're going to discuss the violent American Democrat Party. The domestic terrorists. The violent American domestic terror. Okay, hold on. Let me try to say this for a third time. Violent American Democrat domestic terrorists. Unmask. And that does not roll off the tongue. And Christians not welcome in Dearborn? Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, that's what you said. Very interesting. Guess I need to read the book. You need to order the book in order to read it. Yeah, see, what I need is a recommendation list on my YouTube or I need like an Amazon. I need to like link stuff that I recommend. I know they have like affiliate things. I'm writing that down. Affiliate, TNAM. See, I just want to focus on the content. What I need is to just kind of join the team that's going to handle all of the nuts and bolts, the minutia, the bells and whistles, the tech, the uploading, the clipping, the AI, the all of the things. Like I like doing this. I really don't like doing the other stuff. You know, when you're on your own, you got to do everything on your own, which is fine. And by the way, I'm not on my own. I've had the support of many great people over the years. Some volunteered, some were paid, some we just collaborating, some were happenstance, some have been long time things that we have engaged in. But they're all awesome. All those people have been great. But yeah, I'm feeling ready. Went to the comedy club last. Oh, I didn't put it out on Instagram for the New American. I wonder if I can. Okay. I wonder if I can take it. And update it. But I did get to meet Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore's been a vocal, outspoken, political and comedic voice for a long time. I got to see him perform, and he told a story about meeting with Bobby Kennedy and how like they had like a meeting of the minds at a castle, and it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing that they were doing. So he did like a 10-minute bit about Bobby Kennedy, and so I went to go say hello and meet him because we filmed that incident, the loogie heard round the world, where Jimmy Dore spit in Alex Jones' face. It's our #1 video that we produced. Blake Wally filmed it at the Republican convention. I invited him onto my podcast, but when I came up, I introduced myself as Bobby Kennedy, and I wanted to thank him for telling such an eloquent version of the story where we dined at the castle. And so his wife was doing the meet and greet and taking the pictures. And she goes, "Oh, I got a bunch of pictures." So I introduced and I said, "Hey, would you like to join?" Like we felt we were at that event where you like that whole thing. We've always wanted to reconnect and like, talk about the news and reconnect. I'd love to so I sent an email and I hope I can book him on Agree to Disagree, get Jimmy Dore in here. Fingers crossed. And I told Blake, I said, be ready because you'll be in that program too. Like the three of us. Blake was the one in Jimmy's face. You just spit in his face? Did you just spit in his face? I'm right here. Did you just spit in his face? I'm right here. Did you just spit in his face? I'm right here. Get off my stage. Okay, I'm gone. But yeah, so she took 1,000 pictures yesterday. And when I started flipping through, I'm like, this is great. Because like in the moment, I don't know if any of you have performed comedy or not. And this program is a chance to, we go through a lot of stuff. We do deep dives into the esoteric. We try to crack jokes. Kenneth, welcome to the party. Kenneth is one of our resident jokesters. We always appreciate having Kenneth around, trying to lighten the mood, raise the vibes. Vibe check. He's hit me with that a couple times. But look, we're the trash pandas, the TNAM trash pandas. We dump the garbage on the table. We rifle through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. That's what we do here. And some days more so than others, the stuff that we're sifting through is rancid, rotten, toxic waste. And so it's hard to sometimes not get angry about what you're doing, and it can bring the vibes down. But here we try to bring them back up. We try to laugh. We try, in the face of violent, radical Democrat, domestic extremism, domestic terrorism specifically. This stuff is important. This stuff is time sensitive. This stuff is crucial to the future. The volume wasn't up. Why did the volume go up? Crucial to the future of our nation. And it can take you down a black pill path a little bit sometimes. And I think there's a lot of people getting indoctrinated, radicalized. They're talking about these Discord threads and these groomers in the Roblox games and all sorts of weird shit going on online. And frankly, a lot of parents don't even realize what's happening. They normal Americans, and that doesn't mean Republican. It just means not crazy left, not crazy right. It's just common sense 80-20 issues they keep talking about. Trump finds an 80-20 issue, picks the 80. It's like, yes, normal Americans 4-1 want this thing. Sit down, shut up if you're an extreme. On both sides. But yeah, normal America is calling for something right now. Normal America wants a little bit of course correction. But normal America are raising normal kids who are being handed off to groomers and radicals and violent Democrat domestic terrorists. No, not every teacher is a violent, radical, domestic terrorist, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are. I had teachers. I ran in circles. I saw this. I took the report. People tell me all the time about the problems they're having and the problems they had themselves and with their kids, trying to radically indoctrinate them into something to fundamentally transform. We're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. I don't want to radically, fundamentally transform the United States of America. I want to restore the United States of America. Restore it to what? Slavery. No, goofball. Restore it to some common sense. Maybe we never had it, so I guess we're not restoring it. We're creating it. But we're all tired. We're all tired of your verbal games. We're all tired of your gotchas, your threats, your bully tactics. It's been going on for decades, and it's been creeping. The Overton window, the 10-yard marker that started at the 45 to the 45, crossing the midfield at 50-yard line. Are you following me? It's a football analogy, folks. 10-yard marker, and it goes click, 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 click. It's on a little click. Every yard is a click. Click, 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 click. It's called the Overton window. And we have been pushed, bullied all the way down to the 1-yard line. The 1-yard line to the 11-yard line. We couldn't go further off to the side than we are. Then Trump came in and a lot of things are shifting back. But then there's a lot of concerns. What is this hate speech stuff? There is no thing known as hate speech. There is no such thing as hate speech. It's what people have been poisoning our youth with for decades. The Democrat establishment, politicians, the national education complex, the military industrial educational complex, the military educational complex. I don't know. I'm trying to work in the military industrial complex to the education department, but you get what I'm saying. The media, many teachers, let's be fair. And by the way, of course, calls for peace because people have been trying to misinterpret things I've said recently. Oh, you shared a post that said I didn't say any such thing. And by the way, a share is not an endorsement. The show's called Agree to Disagree. We often show things that are ridiculous and say, do you disagree? Do you agree? And then we hash out the problem. So a retweet does not equal an endorsement. Like, come on, we're adults. Nobody needs to say that shit out loud. We all understand that. A retweet is not an endorsement. I know that. But they pretend they don't know that. I think they know that. They pretend they don't know that. We need to define our terms and keep the vibes up. And we do try to have fun over here. So we'll see. Also might get John Fugelsang back on the program. He wrote a book and he sent us a press release, and maybe we'll book him for that as well. That could be I'm thinking maybe I'll bring Pastor Uncle Bruce. His book, Separation of Church and Hate. A Sane Person's Guide to Taking Back the Bible from Fundamentalists, Fascists, and Flock Fleecing Frauds. I think that's going to be a good book. I would like to bring Uncle Bruce on for that one. He's a Baptist preacher, and, I bet you a lot of the things that John would be talking about would closely align to where Bruce is at. That'd be a fun conversation, perhaps. John's talented. I think he can wander into let's just leave it at I'd be interested in having an interesting, robust conversation about the topic. But we need more conversation in this country, not less. We need to have more uncomfortable conversations, not fewer. And the bully tactics to just silence normal Americans has gone on for far too long, and the line in the sand has been drawn. Tens of millions have been activated to find a deep conviction within ourselves, whether that's connected to God specifically, or whether that's just we feel it deep within who we are, our psyche, our soul. We know that it's now or never. We know that the only thing that we should be embarrassed of is keeping your mouth shut in the face of evil and letting them keep pushing us around and bullying us around. I know that's the opposite of what they're told. They're told, see, this culture, this society, this group, that group, that group. See, they push their views on you and they're bad and you got to take them out. That's what's happening to radicalized people in Discord threads from teachers, professors in college. Pre-K, they're doing grooming stuff, weird, radical stuff to start manipulating the minds, the brains of our youth that we hand over to who knows who for God knows what purpose for 8 hours a day. Then we get a different kid back when they come back from college. Radical and angry. Wonder why that's happening. Our entire education system needs an enema from top down. And we need to teach an American curriculum that can address where we've been. But for the love of God, what are we focusing on the rear view mirror for when we have a whole windshield in front of us? What are we doing? So it's all connected. The vibe check, keeping vibes high. Having conversations with people that spit in other people's faces, maybe. And I guess Alex Jones and Jimmy Dore did get together a year or two ago, and they sort of like kind of hashed things out, is my understanding. But like in 2021, I think Jimmy went on with Tim Pool and denied that he spit in his face, said it was like more like a spit take, like he laughed and an ice cube came out. No, that's, I mean, took a drink of the iced tea and spit it right in his face. Like we had it like directly and followed him to confront him in that moment. I mean, without our camera confronting him in that moment, I mean, like that was a historical like moment, because essentially like the theme of that week was the media were taking their masks off. They were showing you who they really were, who they have always been. And they're not neutral. They have their finger on the scales. They're changing. They're trying to, they have a dog in the fight. They're not neutral arbiters of who, what, where, when, why. Hey, we're here to report. We're seeing these things here. Let me talk to you. And what do you have to say? And how do you feel about this? Like, no, like they're giving you an official fake ass narrative, a treasonous coup, fake ass narrative, anti-American, anti-civil liberty, anti-election interference or pro-election interference propaganda, messaging. Oh, there's 51 intelligence officials that, it seems to, that Hunter Biden laptop that would have totally disqualified that family from having anybody vote for him, at least 25%, roughly 25%, according to many reports, had that come out as being verified and showing how blackmailed and corruptible that family was, and you should keep them away from positions of power at all costs. No, our own intelligence agencies lied to us. At 51 intelligence agencies verified, with a high degree of certainty, that Hunter Biden laptop, that bears all the classic earmarks of Russian propaganda. Oh, does it? Does it now? Really? And Chris Wallace repeating the fine people hoax during that debate cycle too for Fox. You gotta be kidding me. The most debunked, most vitriolic, destructive, racist political hoax in history, perpetrated from the Democrats on to Trump and all the normal Americans who support him. Nope, not MAGA, not Christian, not conservative, not Republican, not libertarian leaning, not whatever. Normal Americans who just want a bouncer at the door of your nightclub to check IDs. If you've been in here fighting before and you're on the do not let them enter list, you're not allowed to enter to cause more problems for the people that just want to be in here and have a good time. We want to have a good life and we don't want to be bothered by bad people. That's a 100-0 issue. There's some people that have been convinced, no, everything should be open. Oh, like your car doors and your home and your windows and your life and your legs. You just open everything up for anyone that wants to do anything to you. That's a good policy. That's a bad policy. Anyway, back to Jimmy Dore. It was cool. I've been performing at that club. I've been performing at other clubs for the better part of this year. It's an art form to put together an hour show and even 4 minutes, like to have a coherent plan into how do you rehearse it? How do you go off the top of your head with it? But yeah, it was cool that she took so many pictures because I'm like, what am I going to post? And it's like in 3 of them, I was doing my Bobby Kennedy voice. And in the moment, like as I did it, like what I was the energy I was seeing and feeling from him was, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's Bobby. And that lasted a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. But as I continued and I gave it I kind of doubled down and really leaned into it. As I was scrolling, you see the pictures, 3 different. I don't know if I can show you on Instagram because I didn't put it on the New American Media page. Why didn't I do that? Well, anyway, maybe I'll post it later. So keep your eyes peeled to our Instagram page. But in 3 different, he's laughing and then he's like 3 different versions of like, I cracked him up. And that's all you want to do as a comedian. You want to get the laugh. You want to have somebody smile. You want to let them have a moment where they can let something off their chest. They can, have a moment to, I don't know. And he said some funny stuff and he said some powerful stuff. Much like when I saw Dave Smith at that same stage and met him a few months ago and thanked him for his pragmatism at the Libertarian Convention when we filmed it in DC last year. By the way, if you heard that it was Charlie Kirk, according to Bobby Kennedy, it was Charlie Kirk that brokered the meeting so that Maha could join the MAGA movement. Could that have won the election in and of itself? Maybe. Was it Charlie Kirk's evangelism on college campuses to kind of give the boys who are being brainwashed and abused, manipulated, and lied to on their college campuses a voice that speaks for them and shows them better follow-ups to bad arguments so that they can defend themselves against the radical Marxists who are trying to destroy this country and build it into something that we don't resemble. We don't recognize. We wouldn't resent. It doesn't resemble who we are. 3 thoughts at once. But yeah, we try to keep our vibes up when we can. All of you regulars, you do a good job of kind of keeping me in check. And yeah, letting you know when I know that some of my jokes land, it makes me happy. That's kind of what I'm here for while we're digging into some really dark shit sometimes. But we're here for it. We're warriors. I did have a phone call into the pastor of the church I went to. He called me back and then I called him, but we're playing phone tag. I'm going to tell him why I don't plan to go back to his church. When I went this weekend, like everybody else, heavy hearts with Iryna Kirk. You didn't even mention her once. And that video, that horrific video came out. And then Charlie Kirk, it was mentioned, but it was like in a whataboutism kind of way. What about something happened in Minnesota? Like, look, there's problems on both sides. So, I'm blessed are the peacemakers. And then it was like done. I'm like, huh? Bro, come on. We're exploding for talking to people out in public. This is bullshit. Tell us how the shepherd can protect the flock. That's the message I'm here for. And you ignored it. And then the next guy that gave the full sermon, he just kind of gave 52 weeks, 52 sermons. All right. Week number, whatever we're on. Week 37, raising a family. Okay. It had nothing to do with what's all heavy on our hearts and heavy on our minds. Like we're getting persecuted, butchered for what, But yeah, I had the choice, either just walk away, go to somewhere else, or at least let them know why. Maybe they don't know what's up. Maybe they don't understand. Maybe they don't care. But like, I'm at least going to make my voice heard. It's what I always say about these athletes. Oh, yeah, they won a championship. They're going to go visit the White House. I'm not going. I'm President Trump. Orange man. Me too. Drinking bleach. Fine people. Lie, hoaxer. Okay. Dude, if you get the ear of the president of the United States, go say something to them. When I met Piers Morgan, I invited Piers Morgan onto my show as well. And I offered, I'd love to be on his talking head show. When I met him, I shook his hand. I told him I completely disagree with your take on this, on the Second Amendment. But I appreciate the fact you're having the conversation on your show so much. 1776 will happen again if you try to come take our guns. Alex Jones to Piers Morgan. Classic. And it's true, which is why the Dems want it. They want to own a monopoly on the violence. They want to be the only ones who can take out normal Americans. And they don't want you to be able to defend your flock. They just want to keep picking you off. So like, if you got a couple wolves who are stealing your sheep, come on, pastor, give me a little something here. They're popping our sheep. They're taking our sheep. It's my job to protect the community. It's all of our jobs to protect the community. So yeah, I don't know what will come of that, but I'm going to, I am being compelled. I feel the need to discuss it with them. Then whatever they do with it from there, that's up to them. That's out of my hands. But I did my part. Kind of like I said, thank you to you guys for doing your part and getting me past that threshold. So now the New American Media has some options. It looks like we're on a fast track to enable subscriptions and super chats, so we can have a couple more tip jars out in the universe to help fund the operations that are many thousands of dollars a year by the time it's all said and done. So, every $15 monthly thing or everything that you do, it's super crucial. But yeah, like I said, we're flying now. We put on another I don't know, 70 hours. So we're like 900 and where are we at? There's new numbers, pennies in the wishing well, 930 away from actually getting normal, regular advertisements back on our YouTube channel. So to everybody who's been watching extra content, binging it, binging our content on the YouTube channel, it's a perfect way. Not everybody is willing to contribute in certain ways. Not everybody's willing to contribute in other ways. Not everybody's capable of certain things. Perfect, fine, understood. But to everybody who's been binging our content on YouTube to try to boost those numbers, it matters, and we're seeing mega success on this. Hopefully, maybe this month, maybe within this month, we can get our ad revenue back, and then we can actually play advertisements on our YouTube channel like we did for so many years to help offset the thousands of dollars a year it costs to just run the basics of the program each year. From website domains to streaming software programs and packages. And anyway, it's all super appreciated. Marion says, I Googled John Galt. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So get the book. I made a note. I need to get an affiliate program where you can click the link and I'll get 5% if you buy it off Amazon. Because look, they're pennies in the wishing well. They all add up. They're Lego blocks. If you put a Lego block onto your pad each day, after a couple of weeks, you're going to see the frame of a house. Then you're going to build it up. You're going to put some windows in. You're going to put a roof. And it's like, oh, I got my Lincoln logs here. We're doing it. We're really doing it, Red Band. We're really doing it, Red Band. Kenneth, hello to B. Ryan Mka. Yes. T to the panda. We are the Trash Pandas, the mighty, mighty Trash Pandas. Or we are Charlie Kirk, yeah. David says, football is a game of the heart. Oh, I mean, it's World War I trench combat. We call it in the trenches. I played defensive end. The guy I battled in the playoffs, that dude, 6'7", 285. I was 5'10", 188. We battled to a standstill. I mean, we had an epic matchup, but they call it in the trenches. And that's what the war was like in World War I, in the trenches. Elbows and fists and the back of rifle stocks and knives and just in the trenches. The most brutal stuff you could imagine. But in the trenches, man, football is a violent sport. And if you don't have heart, football is not the game for you. Agreed. The rigging of the games ruins it. Allegedly. Kenneth asking, I did say, can you share our show? And he says, is it okay to share our show with Share? Yes. Kenneth knows of a girls' college in the UK that's churning out Angry Birds. Angry Birds. They call them birds, isn't it, Governor? Crikey. Wait, that's Australian. You're losing your accent. Kenneth's Kindle is burning away. It is you can hear yeah, you're training the AI of your Kindle to love the New American Media on YouTube. I'm here for it. And I'm here for today's show. So let's begin the program right about now, everybody. Buckle up, grab your beverage. It's showtime. Here we go. Wait a minute. That was the wrong button. Here we go.
your guide to the truth. thenewamericanmedia.com.
I do need to radically transform that intro. I keep saying I need to, but once again, I just, be better with the team. And then look, the more people that sign up on Patreon and toss some stuff in the tip jar, I can hire people to do these types of things because not everybody can do everything on their own. And I need to allow myself a little bit of grace on that. Marion loves the music. Yeah. Marion, have you ever checked out my YouTube channel? I like YouTube just fine with the letter U. It has all sorts of twist of nothing music on there. Have you ever been to that channel, Marion? Question of the day. To anyone, actually. Have you ever been on our channel for I like you? It's the letter YouTube just fine. I like YouTube just fine. It has all the twist of, not all, but it has a lot of twist of nothing music on there over the years. There's a lot of good music and pieces and parts and demo versions or live versions and different pieces. I mean, that was great making all that music. And I do want to make more. Only so many hours in the day, though. All right. Let's dump. Oh, just about Atlas Shrugged is the name of the movie with Who is John Galt. It's written in 1937, I believe. And it's just so you change the names of the people and it's the same stuff as today. Like, oh, that's the Pelosi character. Oh, there's the Obama. Oh, okay. And it's like you just go through it and you go, all right, I get it. Now I get it. It's like a tale as old as time. People talk about the Bible, and my dad always said, regardless of many takes and interpretations and theories, the Bible's a book of stories. And if you take the stories and just change them to modern day and put different people that you can extrapolate the lesson from the book. It's like, oh, a jealous brother kills the other. Oh, okay. They saw that in the news the other day. Just the stories of oppression and outreach and really just tale as old as time stuff. There's good stories to extrapolate from. Nope, have not. But we'll get there soon. Yep, I like YouTube just fine. Some interesting odds and ends on there. I mean, that was before I really started the New American Media. David Wilcock interview was on there. Mike Huckabee interview was on there. My Earthship documentary and Earthship tours were on there. You have something you want to share? Can you post the link? You can. I don't know if we can click it from here, but sure. What did you want to share, Danette? Hello, Danette. The best way to share something, Danette, would be on X at American_media_. If you don't have an X account, I would encourage you to consider it because Elon has dedicated that network. Okay, yes, he's data mining all of our hive mind strategies, and I'm sure it's linked up to Neuralink somehow to learn about the hive mind and how to. Okay, fine. There's all of that, but at least it's a place that we can currently use to express ourselves and share relevant, pertinent information on current events, breaking news, and it really is a counter. It's a pushback against the radicals. So if you're not on X, it's one of our major platforms. Please consider jumping on there. I know you don't do those. That's what I'm saying. Maybe consider doing those. Yes, you can post the link here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to click it and watch it. If it were on, here's the thing. If you had the link and you just popped it onto X, and by the way, it takes 2 minutes to set up a free X account. If you tagged us at American_media_, I could quickly grab it and then play it for everyone. If you post it here, I don't know if I can click the link. You can try, and I'll see if I can. What is the topic, by the way? But really, hit like, hit subscribe, however you're watching. Click the share show link. This podcast was amazing this morning and very in step with the Charlie Kirk deal. Gotcha. Yeah, click the share show link and just text it to a couple friends. Send it on Facebook Messenger or a group, or send it to someone you know and just be like, hey, we dump the news out every day. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. Let's go to our Instagram feed. I don't think we have a lot on Instagram right now. But Marion has a question. Glenn Beck is hosting the Charlie Kirk show today. How many times do you think? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I got this shirt during the phase when I had a surgery and I was kind of laid up for a minute watching Glenn Beck, and I actually was given. Oh, this goes back to Bruce. Bruce was the old dude that would come into the bar. He wasn't super old, but he was clearly out of the demographic of the kids that were in there. But Bruce is cool. And look, now I'm the old guy at the bar. If I'm hanging out and there's a bunch of kids, it's fine. It's a bar. Like if you treat people good, like that's awesome. No, it's not tacky. Come on. Glenn Beck, Waterworks, baby. Waterworks. No, he's an emotional guy. Look, I've choked up several times in the past week. It's honest. I don't know. I believe Glenn he taps into the emotions and his are honest. He's the ultimate showman. Man, Glenn Beck he's a performer. I think I am too. I really do think I could be capable on a big stage, on a debate screen with talking heads. I could do daily shows, I could do segments, I could do comedy, I could do straight news, I could do punditry, sports. There's not much that I would feel uncomfortable hanging out in that realm. But Glenn's a superstar. I mean, what he's been able to do is impressive for sure. But over under. How long is the show? I would need a couple of things if it were an hour, if it's an hour show. Five times? 5 per hour. If it's an hour and a half, I call it 7. Round it up to 8. Yeah. Greta chimes in. How dare you? That's tacky. How dare you? Marion saying, yeah, we've all been through it. My eyes haven't stopped leaking. It's been, and like they're calling for more. Who's next? And like there's plots and plans afoot. Like we're not done with the demons. Like if we ever sit down and settle, they advance. They move the Overton window, which, by the way, it literally is the name of a Glenn Beck book, The Overton Window. I use the football analogy, but it's just you click it down the every yard. You got 50 yards on one side, 50 on the other. Click, 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 click. 10 times then. 5 per hour. It's a 2-hour show. All right, let's see what do I have on Instagram today? Democrats confused after seeing conservatives holding weird Molotov cocktails that never explode. See, because Democrats tell their foot soldiers, let's burn our city. Let's loot the shoe store. Let's smash and grab the jewelry. Huh? What does that have to do with anything? And conservatives get angry and they get together in prayer. In peace. Hopefully they're armed as well to defend yourself. Steven Crowder, I caught a clip from him yesterday. I was watching a little bit. Go back to last year's RNC in Milwaukee. We interviewed Gerald A. Morgan, right? Gerald A. Morgan, CEO of Louder with Crowder, I believe. Producer, I think he's CEO of Louder with Crowder is his official title. We talked with him there. And this was days after Trump got shot. I mean, it was a touchy time to document. But yeah, Steven Crowder was like, people that are you advocating violence? He goes, yes, I am. I'm advocating for. I'll let him say. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but he was like, violent self-defense is what's needed right now. Like you can't let people get up in your face and scream. Like you can't allow the threats and the intimidation to get you to back down. And you have to be willing to defend yourself and assume that there are people out there that would love to dance on your grave. So he did a whole soliloquy on it. It was like a 13-minute clip. I think it was a clip from his show. I don't know what day. I don't know if I shared it or not. I don't know if it was Rumble or YouTube, because he has the same hate relationship with YouTube that I've had. So he's mostly exclusively Rumble now. But yeah, he talked about it. Yeah, we all need to level up. We need to protect our flock. Our sheep are getting picked off, and it's time to go after the wolves, because they're coming after us. They will not stop attacking us. So it's self-defense when you defend yourself from the packs of wolves who are hunting us for sport. It's not good. Oh, did we really get Danette to sign up for X? We have a convert. We have a regular. No, you're already a regular, because we know your name and we know you're from. Wait, it's Texas. I don't remember which part of Texas. Don't give me your street address or anything, but like, was it Austin, Fort Worth or something, or Dallas, maybe? Anyway, the X handle, let me put it at the bottom of the screen. That was scrolling our tip jar. The X handle is at American_media_. It'll scroll past in just a second. You can pause it if you need it. At American_media_. But if you share it, I can take a look at it. If it's like an hour-long show, I can't play it. But like if it's a clip, I could play a clip. Yeah, Ken just okay, Ken Paxton, Patriot Wear. Okay, yeah. There's an arrest in Starr County, Texas for an illegal ballot harvesting scheme. Although liberals and left-wing media like to pretend otherwise, we know that election fraud is real and a serious threat. Look at that. You guys are in Texas, giving me tips, tagging us, and we're sharing it back out and talking about it here. So look, verified election fraud accusations, at least. Illegal ballot harvesting schemes. Oh, for the 2022 general. Targeting Texans over 65. Grand jury issued a true bill indictment against Vela. Who's Vela? Arrest of Modesta Vela. Is that a person? That sounds like a city in California. Modesta Vela. Now, for those of you in Rio Linda, I haven't done a Rush Limbaugh. Modesta Vela sounds like Rio Linda in Starr County for operating illegal ballot harvesting. Okay. We know election fraud's real and a serious threat, said Attorney General Paxton. Criminals trying to steal our elections and rig the democratic process will be found, arrested, and prosecuted. Modesta Vela was trying to take advantage of voters and broke the law by illegally ballot harvesting and targeting a Texan seeking to engage in our elections. Now it's time for Vela to answer for her actions in court. Her? Okay. Good. Yeah, share stuff with us and we will try to incorporate it into the program. All right. Oh, it was Austin. Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. This is probably a clip with music and stuff, so I can't play it. But hey, remember that Christianity started with the wicked celebrating the death of an innocent man. Remember that like how about that as a sermon? That's the sermon I wanted. I wanted to hear about what it's like to be persecuted for having some pretty standard, normal political views. Be kind to each other, be good. Don't get consumed with physical things and money. So you killed him for it. Let me bounce over here to our X feed. There is our Patreon link, our conversation. If you've never, to all of the regulars, let me ask you, did you watch the full interview, either live or after the fact, with John B. Wells? And did you have any takeaway from that? Any particular moment, any quote, any overarching theme from that? John's a very important voice for America. And we've just been so gracious to have him spend time with us over the years. But yeah, that's our link right there, our Patreon link. It shows you our interview with John B. Wells. If anyone wants to sign up, that's how you do it. You just click it. There's a thing that John BrianEngelman sent us about Attorney General Ken Paxton finding voter fraud. That's good. All right, so Ben Scallon here, he says, note, there's not one prominent leftist, not one. Think about how shocking this is. There's not one prominent leftist anywhere in the West doing what Charlie Kirk did, i.e., issuing an open debate challenge to all comers and saying, here's my view. I invite you to try and prove me wrong. None of them are willing to subject their views to that scrutiny. Some will engage in certain debates with certain opponents under certain conditions. They'll pick and choose their battles, but none would show up to an overwhelmingly conservative forum and say, here's my worldview. If you disagree with me, come to the front of the queue and let's hash it out. They'd simply never do it. Elon Musk said this is a profoundly important point. El Rushmo with talent on loan from God. I can do this. Just gotta find the right thing to do it with. Hold on. No, that's not it. Hold on. I got this. Okay, I can do it like this. All right, here we go. Rush Limbaugh here. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, I'm holding here in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers a document. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, that means something you can read. You know, it's with the paper. That was more of a magazine. It didn't give me like the perfect paper sound I was looking for. But yeah, fact of the matter is, look, the left has taken off their masks and we're seeing them for who they are and who they've always been. And they have thought it's been okay to be this way. They've lived in their bubbles and they think it's okay. It's not okay. This shit isn't okay. Libs of TikTok shares leftist musician Charles Ellsworth, who has pronouns in his bio. Really? People did that? Why would you do that? Mocking Charlie's assassination, appearing to suggest more, well, just in his own words.
Just really quickly want to say to everyone that's pearl clutching and...
pearl clutching.
You know, being upset about the Charlie Kirk thing...
being upset about the thing. Being upset about the thing.
A lot of really bad things are going to happen to a lot of really bad people if we want to have a better world and an actual future for the human race. So either get on board or get out of the way.
So I think where Pam Bondi went so wrong is she brought up that debunked claim that there's something known as hate speech. There's not. There's not. There's no such thing in the American justice system of, that was bad for this community. That was phobic of a community. That was Islamophobic. That was transphobic. That was anti-Semitic. That was that's hate speech. Yeah, speech is protected. When you get into specifically saying that more violence is needed, you either get in the way, get on board, or get got. Yeah, you've entered the violent realm where you're a participant and you're spreading. That's not hate. You're committing crimes, specifically targeting the opponents of whatever remnants are left of the smoldering trash heap, the dumpster fire that used to be called the Democrat Party. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, I just wish I had one piece of paper that could make the noise properly. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, I'm here to tell you today in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers. I don't know, whatever you said. I miss listening to Rush. So that seems like a very specific threat against normal Americans, against conservatives, libertarians, Republicans, MAGA, against normal Americans, against Americans. Suggesting political violence needs to ramp up. Prepare accordingly. Owen Schroyer says the only conclusions I currently feel confident with about the Charlie Kirk assassination are, number one, he was shot directly in the neck. And kind of depending on the view, the first view I saw, it looked like it hit off of his breast and ricocheted. I go, oh, he got shot, but did that hit a bulletproof vest? Is he okay? And that's when people are like, no, you didn't see the other video. He can't survive that. But then it was suggested that it hit off of his breastplate and ricocheted up to the neck that clipped his carotid. And was it carotid artery? Is that what it's called? Anyway, Owen says, oh yeah, Owen's no longer with InfoWars. I don't know where he went or what he's doing. I need to follow him. I need to unfollow some people so I can follow some good accounts. So all that Owen has currently feeling confident about with the Kirk assassination is, one, he was shot directly in the neck. Two, there was some level of prior knowledge. Three, the official story doesn't add up and key elements are missing. And four, trust in government is so low, even if they were telling the truth, people won't believe it. So a little bit of what you're going to find today is just going to see some bad people saying some bad things. This is the former Mrs. Kamala Harris. This is how we do it. Montel Williams does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. Kamala bang slick Willie, now I'm next. This is how we do it. Montel Williams with a garbage take. This is how we do it.
Talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot. You think he heard it? He could hear it? I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
Okay, by the way, I was singing Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. Not Montel Williams. That was my joke there, if you missed it. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, that was my attempt at making a joke. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, that was my attempt at making a joke. You see, his name is Montel.
More left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried. Well, so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there is an effort. There was an effort all weekend long.
What is he even advocate? I don't even understand what he's pushing back on.
They're made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried. Well, so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there is an effort. There was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism. He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around. the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face. Left-wing radicalism got this kid, he went up to a roof, and he murdered our friend, and that's what happened.
Yeah. I just don't get what Montel's even doing. No, that's interesting. You said you thought Montel had passed, and maybe it's a, hey, Trash Panda says hello to you. Trash Panda, Texas. Kenneth says he thought Montel passed. Damn you, Mandela Effect. I was listening to the Mandela Effect. What if it's a psyop meant to just get us to see what we can scrub from our brains that we know to be true? I don't know. The Mandela Effect's it's a wild thing. Stop. Nimbus, no biting. All right, thanks. Okay. All right, I appreciate the grooming, but I'm trying to open this window so you can go up there. Come on. There you go. Go up there. You don't want to go over there? Okay. Yeah, I've noticed Scott Adams has 2 cats in his life now. Good for him, but like they do interrupt his show consistently. Cats love to find out when you start talking and they want to be right there. You know, kind of like your handlers at the alphabet agencies. Hello. Thanks for watching. Any of you could be handlers for the show, actually. Some of you could be bots. Maybe I'm a bot. Islamabad? 111, make a wish. All right, let's keep going. This is the Charlie Kirk show yesterday.
I know we at Daily Wire, we trust you at TPUSA to do it. I mean, that's really the answer. We're willing to provide, and we are providing, any level of material support, any level of support on the program, boots on the ground, helping you to do what Charlie would have wanted.
I don't like Ben telling me what Charlie would have wanted. Does anyone else hate this? I just, even if it's, I just don't want Ben Shapiro of all people. I don't want to hear Ben Shapiro telling me what Charlie would have wanted. I don't like him circling the drain, flying over the carcass like a vulture. No, not. And that's why we're going to pick up the bloodstained microphone and we're going to go ahead and, we're going to carry on. We're going to do the thing. Who's we? Who's we, Ben? You have your thing, Ben.
Support on the program, boots on the ground, helping you to.
And by the way, they just had to have a massive restructuring to lay off a ton of people. And they're not making the money like they used to. But now they have all this money to, try to buy the Charlie Kirk image brand? And try to turn it into something that you want? I don't think Ben Shapiro's MAGA. I don't think he's Make America Great Again or America First. I think he has a different personal allegiance that trumps even America's priority on his list. They're not the same, and I don't want Ben Shapiro speaking for Charlie Kirk. I don't like it.
Do what Charlie would have wanted to be done here. And I think that the reason that everybody trusted Charlie, the reason we're all mourning Charlie, is because nobody did it better. You spelled out 2 of Charlie's goals. You said, he wanted to bring people back to Christ and bring people back to church and back to biblical values. And he wanted to keep the MAGA coalition together.
And expand it.
And the question is how you do that. And the answer is you focus on the first, and the second is a byproduct. Okay, the answer is that, as Matt says, you have to unite around something. And yeah, we can unite in the short term around the fact that there are a bunch of people who hate our guts and want to murder us, which of course is true.
Yes, you do unite around the fact that there's a bunch of people that hate us and want to murder us.
But long-term unity, big movement change, which is what Charlie was really trying to drive, and why he went to talk to people who disagree, is about building around those core values. And so the long-term vision, we'll have our petty squabbles, and some of those squabbles will be more than petty, but the long-term vision has to be built around those original biblical conservative values that Charlie stood for, things like the Bible, things like free markets, things like family, all those things are things Charlie stood for. You got to build the coalition around values, because we can't build it around the man, but we can build it around the values that he left behind and that he spent his entire life fighting for. And, we couldn't be, frankly, more honored to join you guys as much as we can in the fight.
Thank you for that, and thank you for donating the Daily Wire $1 million. Breaking news on this show.
Are there strings attached to that $1 million? Does it feel like it's possible there could be strings attached on that $1 million? Do you trust Ben Shapiro's motivations here? He's suddenly concerned about Charlie Kirk's mission of winning souls to the Lord and bringing people back to the Christian Bible. Why would Ben Shapiro care about such things? I could see why he'd care about power and control and expanding his market share, seeing a power vacuum that got created, and he would like to capitalize on that. Maybe buy some goodwill. Yeah, buy his way in. Exactly. As I was saying it, you were typing it. Can't buy your way into heaven. And the Christian heaven is not a concept that Ben Shapiro comma ... He's out of his lane. He's wildly out of his lane, out of his depth here. I saw a comedian talking about anti-Semitism or this or that, or Christians, and why do some Christians feel the need to incessantly, just whatever Israel does, like, I'm all in, I got to support Israel. And it's like, hold on, you're saying they're the God's chosen people? That's what some Christians say, Jews are God's chosen people. Well, then what are you doing? If you're going to acknowledge that you think Jews made the right decision and are worshiping the right God, that means that you're worshiping a false God. So what are you doing? You can't have it both ways. It's this way or that way. By the way, there's coexistence peacefully, and then there's a goal to dominate and infiltrate and invade and change from within a nation. That's what the Islamic expansion of Obama-Biden has been about across Europe and America and beyond. We're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America into what? Blocking the streets with your incessant prayer calls and trying to have roving gangs of people implementing your Sharia law that's incompatible with our civil liberties and our Bill of Rights. That's a recipe that's oil and water. Brandon Boyd sang that in a song. You and I are like oil and water. We've been trying to mix it up. I don't remember that name of that song or what album it's off of. Yeah, you and I are like oil and water. They do not mix.
Thank you guys for honoring Charlie so well today. God bless you.
So this Lauren Witzke says it was a setup. Who is she? Oh. She helps find funding for the right. Really? Hello. I seek funding for the right. Could we talk? Thank you. Brian. All right. Over 17 million in 4 years. Good. Let's get some. If somebody out there's got $1 million to toss and she's found 17 million, I mean, we can get a lot done on a shoestring budget over here. And we'd instantly start hiring some freelancers. Instantly. To expand our reach. Well, that was interesting. But she's got a thought here, and it doesn't appear to be too favorable, I suppose. That's one way to say it. Close that, start that. There we go. Shh. Oh, I got to reshare the screen. I don't know her. Lauren Witzke. She says it's a setup. Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire donates $1 million to TPUSA to help bring people back to Christ and bring people back to church and back to biblical values, as Charlie wanted. That sounds good, but the truth is this is money spent to enforce Christian Zionism and loyalty to Israeli interests. I don't care what you say. Anyone who gives an organization $1 million becomes an influential part of the organization. Also, it's very strange that Daily Wire was able to cough up $1 million to give TPUSA when they themselves were just shutting down departments and laying off people only a couple months ago due to financial challenges. Where did this $1 million really come from? And we said, no, Ben Shapiro will never be a Christian leader. You can stop circling TPUSA. You can stop circling TPUSA because the crowd will not follow you nor be bribed by your dirty dollars. This is gross. Go away and stay in your lane. Maybe I'm being too harsh here. My question of the day, am I being too harsh in how I replied to that? Do you see my reply? I seek funding, period. What'd you say? Ben eats crayons? I mean, you know, I like those sophomore, third grade roasts. Ben eats crayons. You're a stupid head. Hey, Browns fan, if it's brown, flush it down. Yeah, just spare me with the guy who makes so much of his identity linked around the hat that he wears on his head to tell me about why he's going to be a defender of Christian values that are antithetical, that are different. That Joe Rogan clip of, I wonder if I can play that Rogan clip just for context. Let me pull up Rogan Shapiro Jesus. All right, so let's ask, is this the guy you think you would like to have telling you about how he's going to carry on Charlie's mission of spreading the gospel? This guy, is he your moral and religious leader? Ben Shapiro.
Point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ. I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet.
No, we don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys think?
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
So he became legend in story, and it became a bigger and bigger deal as time went on.
Yeah, he had a group of followers, and then that gradually grew, and then
do you think he was resurrected?
No, that's not a Jewish belief.
Okay, I just want to check.
Yeah, no, we're not into
we're not
into miracle stories. No, that's
no.
Not, no.
You don't have any miracles?
No, not by Jesus. Right?
No?
They're ones in the Old Testament.
Ones?
Yeah, you've got Moses splitting the sea and all that.
What do you think happened there?
What do I think happened there?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go with the Maimonidean explanation that there was. It says in the Bible there was a strong east wind, so there was a naturalistic explanation for a physical phenomenon.
One more time.
Point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ. I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet.
No, we don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys?
No.
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like.
No. We don't even believe he was a prophet. He was a Jew that got killed for leading a revolt against the Romans.
I think he was historically. I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
So he became legend in story.
This is Ben Shapiro. You can stay away from my Christ, my God, my church, Christianity. It's good. You can believe your thing. See, that's where like agree to disagree chimes in. You can wear your hat and you can believe whatever you want. You don't get to steal my money. You don't get to pretend that you're a champion of Christianity or Christ when you're saying stuff like that, because you're not on board. You're not on the team. Why are you pretending to be on the team? Why are you a wolf wearing sheep's clothing? What's your ulterior motive? What the fuck are you doing, Ben Shapiro? I asked the same thing of Netanyahu. What are you doing out there on a tour saying, oh, well, you know, it wasn't Israel that did this. What an odd thing to say. Why are you? And then trying to change like painting such close friendship with Charlie. Oh, no, he believed in our cause. Don't speak for him. Don't fucking speak for him. You want to make an enemy out of me immediately? Try speaking for him. Try putting words in his mouth that we can't verify. Try it. Try it. You want to know how you lose the will of the American people. They were freaking out that Gen Z is not blindly supporting the state of Israel like the boomer generation. They are not. Everything is a case-by-case basis. And you can hate radical Islamic terrorists and also not be a fan of what the Israeli government is doing. Both can be true. But Netanyahu is out there acting weird this week. Like my skin crawling. Like don't put words in Charlie's mouth. Don't you dare. Don't you dare do that. Shapiro's doing it. I don't like anything about it. So no, Shapiro will never be a Christian leader. So stop circling TPUSA because the crowd is not going to follow you or be bribed by your dirty dollars. This comes off as just gross. Go away and stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Do what you do. Don't go over there trying to buy Turning Point USA. Because that was the allegation. Max Blumenthal, Candace Owens. They said they were trying to put $150 million into TPUSA and they wanted to be super pro-Zionist. And the story is that Kirk was like, nope, I don't want to do that. And he got significant blowback and he was actually fearful that they were going to take him out. And then shortly later, he was taken out. Is it connected? Unconnected? You know, you tell me. Mindy Robinson. Yeah, because if there's anyone who wants to bring people back to Christ more than anyone, it's the Jews. LOL. Swayze Son says, yeah, he literally went on Rogan and called Jesus a blasphemous rebel that probably didn't even exist. They asked AI of some, I don't know, this is ChatGPT. Where did the $1 million come from? Did the Daily Wire shut down departments and lay people off in 25? Yeah. March and April, financial challenges. Co-CEO Jeremy Boring departed in March. Lots of layoffs. All right, here's CNN commentator Kate Benningfield claiming that she's seen nothing negative about Charlie Kirk from Democrats. Dude, you don't dislike these liars in the media enough. You don't dislike them enough. Oh, I got to switch the screen. I'm glad I saw that. There we go. Play.
So forth. It's on the bullet case.
I have seen nothing but Democrats in the wake of this murder saying that it was awful.
You've seen nothing?
I have seen them
literally nothing?
Elected Democrats, I have seen them saying nothing but it was horrific, that they condemn it, that they are sorry for his family, that this is an awful moment in the country. I've seen President Trump do nothing but say it was the Democrats' fault.
Can I just jump in here for a second?
Lulu, yes, go ahead.
I just want to read the words of someone who I think is very wise in the wake of 2019.
So for it's all
odd clip there because it could have been 3 seconds longer or 15 seconds. 3 seconds shorter or 15 seconds longer. It was a dumb clip. I guess she's saying that political leaders have said nothing but supportive stuff. Let's ask Grok, because I believe that's not accurate. Let me grab that. So Ilhan Kirk comment. Let's share this one. Will Chamberlain says, in light of Ilhan Omar's comments blaming Charlie Kirk for his own assassination, Mike Johnson must move to strip her of all committee assignments, same as was done to Marjorie Taylor Greene with 11 Republicans voting for it. Alpha News reported Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar shared this video that says of Charlie Kirk, Kirk was a reprehensible human being, a stochastic terrorist. With his last dying words, he was spewing racist dog whistles. Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck. What the fuck is wrong with these people? If that report's accurate, that is how it was. Here she is.
What I do know for sure.
What I do know for sure
is that
you
know, Charlie was someone who once said, you know, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who.
The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, you asshole. You hear her trying to justify what happened. Asshole.
Who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd.
Debate and downplay the death of George Floyd. I believe he was having an open conversation about the realities surrounding the case that your Democrats seized upon to burn America down for the entire campaign tour during your Summer of Love of 2020. Yeah, we examined a lot of things, and it's not okay to loot the Best Buy, to bust out the windows at the 7-Eleven and steal the cash register. That has nothing to do with any justice. That's an excuse to go on an episode of The Purge. And it's fucked up, and it's what your Democrats have been coaching people to do for decades. Ugh.
In the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right.
Oh, no, I guess he wasn't a scumbag. George Floyd pistol whipped a pregnant woman, held a gun to the belly with another child in the house when they did a home invasion robbery. I'm sorry, does that not qualify as a scumbag?
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country.
No. Speaking honestly is different. Looking forward through the windshield is better than looking in the rearview mirror about things that happened to people that weren't you by people that are not here right now. You're swinging at ghosts if you make that a cornerstone of your ideology to hyper fixate on things that happened in the past. It's a mental illness.
By saying Juneteenth should never exist.
Juneteenth, it's not a word. And you can have an opinion that you don't think that should be a national holiday. You can have opinion that George Washington's birthday should be separated from celebration on Abraham Lincoln's birthday and that they all shouldn't be wrapped into President's Day. You can have opinions on whatever you want. It's so much of this whataboutism, and it's like, well, you know, he gets what he gets. He deserves it, right? Look, here are all these reasons, huh?
And I think, you know, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Is that Mehdi Hassan? Is that who that asshole is? As if it matters how civil it was. We're allowed any sort of abrasive fucking debate in this country that we damn well decide we want to have. And you don't get to snuff people out because you don't agree with all of their points. That, by the way, you might change your mind on tomorrow, and now you do agree on one of the points. So shut the fuck up. A total rewrite of history. Conversations. We need so many more conversations. And you two are out there just kind of making it seem like, well, you know, he kind of getting what he deserves, huh?
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, you know, like...
than marrying your brother to allegedly circumvent U.S. immigration policy to sneak in here from Somalia. You're right. There is nothing more effed up than that.
Than to completely pretend that, you know, his words and actions have not been recorded and not been recorded have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so. And
Is Minneapolis savable? Is Minnesota savable? Let's check on AOC. What's she got to say about Charlie Kirk at this very important time?
I'm opposed to, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like every single one of these things, every time a Republican in this House is offended, they file a censure resolution. And we're here as grown adults.
You're acting like grown adults? You're saying the Democrats act like grown adults?
Here to legislate for the material needs. I want to be helping veterans. I want to be helping schools. I want to be improving people's health care. I'm not here to be fighting over whatever people's like schoolyard thing is for the day. I'm opposed.
Uh-huh. Anyway, there's 3 minutes there. Bridget Gabriel's calling Ilhan Omar to be removed from the office and banned for the U.S. Capitol building. Okay. I'm here for it. Okay. Gone down a rabbit hole. Let me go back to the profile. Okay. Is this the same clip?
Disparaging the person that he loved.
Yeah. Okay, that's the same clip. Gunther Eagleman says Montel is a POS.
Can we, for 1 second, understand that as we continue, Scott just got all angry, got real mad. Face it, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be this. Why can't we have a discussion about how long is it going to take for us to figure out a way to come back together?
Just to be clear, I am angry.
Can we just let him finish
I
his
am
thought,
angry.
Scott? I'll let
because
you
I knew it.
Scott, I'll let you talk in just a second. Go ahead.
Could we spend as much time figuring out how we bridge this and come back together again? You know, I used to have a note on my producer's desk when I did my show that was said, we don't belabor what happens, we try to figure out why it happens and come up with solutions. Right now, all we're doing is belaboring what happened over and over and over and over again. We're not going to sit down and try to figure out how do we stop it. If we want to
go after left-wing terrorists. That's actually exactly the conversation we're having, is we're acknowledging there's a problem.
So anybody who disagrees with you is a left-wing terrorist.
So what, you can interrupt her, but he can't interrupt you? Got it.
Absolutely not, but if they target a conservative and murder him in brutal fashion, he's probably a
Let me answer your question.
Yes, that person is a murderer.
You said,
we can all acknowledge that.
You said I am angry, and I'm just telling. I am channeling the emotions of millions of conservatives who are angry. They knew Charlie. They loved Charlie. They viewed Charlie as a mainstream conservative Republican voice who talked about issues that millions of Americans believe. He also talked about his faith. And he did it by going to college campuses, which are not normally hospitable to conservatives, and offering his opponents a microphone to have what we always say.
In support of what? In support of what?
Civil discourse.
Not only that, but support of the First Amendment.
And
He
guess what?
made sure that people had an opportunity to stand in a room and talk.
He was murdered trying to do what we always say. Why don't we talk to each other? So yes, it's not even been a week. So you're going to have to give us a little grace on being angry about somebody who did what you always say that we should do. Let's talk.
We didn't
and
get
he got killed.
grace over,
and he got
more
killed.
than a week's grace over
So,
2 Michigan elected officials who were murdered.
Fuck you. This is what the pastor at the church that I went to did. He must be a MSNBC, CNN watcher. I'm going to ask him that. I said, where do you get your news? Where do you watch the news? Is it MSNBC or CNN? Because your initial thing was to come out and say, well, you know, in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, there was a shooting. We're talking about Charlie Kirk, the guy who was in line to be president of the United States after J.D. Vance.
It's not even been a week. So you're going to have to give us a little grace on being angry about somebody who did what you always say that we should do. Let's talk.
We didn't
And he
get much
got killed.
grace over.
And he got
more
killed.
than a week's grace over
So-
2 Michigan elected officials who were murdered. Did we give? Was it 3 weeks before we decided to say that there was something wrong with Speaker Pelosi's husband being hit in the head with a hammer?
By a homeless drug addict? I mean, it was terrible that happened. This is not the same kind of case.
I think Nimbus wants lunch. She's like, now. When do you want it? Now. So here's, all right, I hear you. So here's a video, University of North Carolina, Wilmington, refusing to take action after a group of leftists deface a rock memorial for Charlie Kirk and threw paint on conservative students who tried to stop them. Take a look.
Just so you guys know, I'm fully religious too.
We know
Oh, I do, but Charlie Kirk is definitely not the morals I support or the religion I support, where you're just taught to love your neighbor.
Well, our
not hate
religion
your
teaches
neighbor.
respect.
Yeah,
This is not
love your
respect.
neighbor.
Okay. If you disagree, so this is loving your neighbor.
I'm not gonna love a man who doesn't even.
You don't have to.
So
You're not loving your neighbor.
Racist.
You're not loving your neighbor.
You just You're right. I'm not judging. It is not my right to judge, but it is also not your right to judge either.
No, we're here protecting somebody. We're not here judging.
And we're not the ones.
If we were judging, we would be taking your paint can and dumping it on you, but we're not, are we? Because someone has to pay.
I'm being old. It will, hopefully. If not, it's a price I gotta pay. Yeah, I am sorry. I did not mean to step on any of the flags. I will admit that. I am sorry. I don't think I did step on those. I only came over here. Yeah, the paint covering the flags.
Yep. So I guess that's the number for University of North Carolina. If anybody wants to, give them a call and say, I watched this video, and that's, you know, you're either okay with this or you're not. You want to hear the every day I find you a story that sets new levels. Yes, David, so many people on the dark side for sure. There is no making peace or coming together with demons. Yeah, get it through your thick skull. There is none of that. There is no limit to the levels that MSNBC will gaslight you. Watch this and tell me if this matches your reaction or your experience. The biggest gaslight ever. Maybe.
You have seen a lot of people trying to grapple with Charlie Kirk's legacy and what that is as a right-wing agitator and as a provocateur and as, you know, a strategist and the most important GOP figure besides Donald Trump, arguably ever. And so, or right now. And so there's a lot of grappling to do, but to suggest that the internet is cheering for this is just the opposite, total opposite of what's actually happening. It is.
We said, how many videos have you watched of the cheering? MSNBC will lie to you about everything. Turn that mind-rotting channel off. Unbelievable. Libs of TikTok reports that the University of Kansas says they're standing by an employee who said Charlie is better in the ground as worm food, and she will not face disciplinary action. You can contact the University of Kansas here. Here's the link. Claiming that Charlie preached murdering children was a necessary sacrifice for Second Amendment rights. No, you fucking assholes. You fucking assholes. Charlie was so patient and nice to you idiots. I've never met a single person who's a normal American, like the 80%. I've never met a person who thinks that ending a child's life with a gun is acceptable. Not a single person. Will we disarm ourselves so that we can get ran over roughshod by violent mobs, by invading armies, by a rogue government set upon its own citizens like we saw under Obama Biden? No, we will never allow ourselves to be disarmed. Fucking ever. Forever, ever. Never, ever, ever. You want to take that little quote? Because, yeah, you do the whataboutism. What about a school? Didn't you see that there was a tragedy at a school? How can you support guns? Because kids kill. Somebody think of the children. Yes, you arm your teachers. You put security. You check people coming in. Whatever you need to do to secure that school, we, the responsible gun owners in this country, all agree that we want maximum safety for every child. A sacrifice, a child sacrifice. Fuck you. These fucking disingenuous pieces of trash. And by the way, guess what? He's allowed to have opinions, even if they were the warped version of what he didn't say that you're trying to use to justify, well, he gets what he gets. We're better off. That piece of garbage, you say. You've completely missed the point of that fucking quote. And I feel like deep down you know it. You can't be that stupid. Maybe you are. I mean, so there's University of Kansas if you want to reach out to public affairs. It's either that's acceptable or it's not. I can't believe Kansas would support that. It's necessary that our society remains armed to protect ourselves from violent people like those on the left that exploded Charlie Kirk. You know, and then people were dancing around saying, all right, next, who's next? Let's put the list out. Let's go to the next one. I watch these Charlie Kirk videos. He doesn't cuss and he doesn't speak the way I do. He was better at this from an encyclopedic Rain Man kind of like, I mean, I'm pretty good at doing certain things. But I think when you get into the minutia and the exact areas of scripture and policy and code and, you know, specific amendments and interpretations and paragraphs of the Constitution and I mean, he was a walking encyclopedia. I could never do all of that. But he was nice. Oh yeah, he took his shots and he clapped back and of course that's what you do in a conversation. He was way nicer than all the rest of us. It's actually sort of inspiring me to try to be always honest, maybe nicer, maybe more polite, maybe. But you have to be honest. And this is not honest to frame it like, oh yeah, Charlie Kirk said he wants to kill kids. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's preaching you got to sacrifice kids because those evil people on the right want their guns, so we got to sacrifice kids. Fuck you. That is the dumbest shit. We said, excuse us, University of Kansas, is this fake news or have you terminated employment with this domestic terrorist? If she thinks it's better that people who oppose her are in the ground, she's saying that about everyone who opposes her, and that is diabolical. We tagged him. So here, let's try to have a conversation and a debate. A street preacher getting harassed by leftists. How do you make some peace with this one? What do you do here? You know, let's have more civil conversation. Demon-possessed woman screams at a preacher. There are no both sides arguments that can be made here. And I believe Steven Crowder was talking about radical self-defense at this point. We're all targets, so you have to assume that people that are going to act this way. Yeah, we're in a precarious situation. Very precarious. I'm going to play it one more time since it's here on my feed. I didn't know it was, so I went and sought it out. But this might have a clearer, louder audio for you.
You know, from a Jewish point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ, I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet, and
significant. No, we don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys think?
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
So he became legend in story, and it became a
clever how he pins it on the Romans, not the Jews. That's so interesting. How he did that. I might have asked Grok this before, but now I'm curious what Grok thinks. Let me pull it up just for context since we're chit-chatting about it now. Grok, what say you? Who killed Jesus Christ? Romans or the Jews? It's been debated for centuries. TLDR version. Romans crucified Jesus under Pontius Pilate's orders after pressure from some Jewish leaders who accused him of blasphemy. Both played roles. They say the Romans had the final authority after being pressured by Jewish leaders who accused him of blasphemy. So no, Benny boy, you're not getting to blame this on the Romans exclusively. Nope. We are not having that. That ain't accurate. Y'all both did it. And you don't get to pick up where Charlie Kirk laid down the cross and carry his banner forward and speak for Charlie Kirk. Nah.
Bigger and bigger deal as time went on.
Yeah, he had a group of followers, and then that gradually grew, and then
do you think he was resurrected?
No, that's not a Jewish belief.
Okay, I just want to check.
Yeah, no, we're not into
You're not
we're not into miracle
zombies?
stories. No, that's
No?
not.
You don't have any
What did he say? We're not into, did he say miracle story?
You're not
we're not into miracle
zombies?
stories. No, that's
No?
no.
You don't have any miracles?
No,
in here?
not by Jesus. Right?
No?
They're ones
But
in the Old
God
Testament.
ones?
Like I can't join a church. I assume I don't believe the things that people in the church believe.
You probably could if you donate. You got to give the right amount of money.
Well, I don't believe in the Jesus, so there's that. There's
The
that
Jesus?
part. Yeah, that's not my thing, right?
If you give enough money.
Right amount of money.
Well, I don't believe in the Jesus, so there's that. There's
You probably could if you donate. You got to give the right amount of money.
Well, I don't believe in the Jesus, so there's that. There's
The
that
Jesus?
part. Yeah, that's not my thing, right? I mean, so that's
not his thing, right? So keep him away from Turning Point USA. Actually, give the money back. I'm going to post that. Let's do a question. Let's share this tab instead. Should at TPUSA give Ben Shapiro and at Daily Wire their $1 million gift bribe back? What do you think? Should TPUSA accept the money or give it back? Yes, return the money. No, keep the loot. Vote on the poll if you're on X. I know. Curious to see how that one shakes out, actually. All right, so Ayel Jacoby There's a Dearborn resident. I thought I had more of the story. I had another video. Oh, okay. I guess it is right here. Let me play this from Fox Local. Here's a tense exchange in Dearborn, Michigan. A Dearborn resident opposes naming a street after a Hezbollah supporter named Osama Siblani. Mayor Abdullah Hamoud snaps back. Watch this. Can Dearborn be saved?
I mean, Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want.
Feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out.
No sound, thank you. Doggone it. Is there any saving? Why did I mute that? Is there any thank you, guys. No sound. Got it. Is there any saving Dearborn, Michigan? Is there any saving America? This guy's like, yeah, you want to change the name of a street to the name of a dude that's a Hamas supporter? A terrorist sympathizer? No. The response, you're a phobe and you're not welcome here in your own community anymore. We're in charge now. Is there any saving Dearborn?
Americans, so I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
Somebody who does not believe in coexistence. These people gaslight you so much. What do you mean by these people? Any gaslighter is what I mean. I called out MSNBC for being gaslighters, and I'll call out this guy. It can be a lady, it can be a boy, it can be a Christian, it can be a Muslim. It doesn't fucking matter. People that are absolutely warping reality to lie to your face. No. The advocates of Sharia are not about coexistence. They're about domination and saying it's our city now. And I know this is your city, but guess what? You're not welcome here. I'm the mayor. You get out. I'll throw a parade when you're out of here. This is, look at me. I'm the captain now. That's what this is about. That's what's happening all across Europe. Oh, there's a migration crisis. There's no crisis. There's a plan to replace the people of all of the sovereign nations with illegal alien invaders, non-citizens, fighting aged men to look you dead in the eye and say, this is my city now, and you're not welcome here anymore. Excuse me? Thank God at least we've woken up to this. But is it too late? Is there any saving places like Dearborn? Yes, you're verbally voting in my poll. I hope you will physically go on X and vote in my poll. Vote on my poll. Kenneth, no jokes. All right, fine, make some jokes. But vote on the poll. Yeah, I vote on the poll when I tip a stripper. See, like I start thinking of Kenneth's jokes, his punchlines before they even start. Trash Panda says TPUSA is much larger than money. Danette says, give it back. And I just can't help but wonder, should I open up her gifts or send them back? Send them back. Dearborn got run over by a mayor walking home from his house. Ramadan Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Jesus, for as he and Ben Shapiro don't believe. Give it back. Trash Panda, yes, give it back. Look at me, I'm your captain now. Look at me, this is my country now. That lady on the news, oh, I don't see anybody being hateful at all. Everybody's just so sad and polite about this, are they? Olivia Krolchik says this is Carrie Rollo destroying a Charlie Kirk memorial in front of Bentonville Courthouse in Bentonville, Arkansas. Did you see this one?
He lived as he died, promoting violence.
He lived as he died, promoting violence. What a demon.
He lived as he died, promoting violence. Record all you want.
Middle fingers. Record all you want.
Well,
you know what? I'm not done. I'm going to go back and be more destructive.
No, look at this shit. Check it out. Look at this shit.
fuck overreactive bullshit. Yeah, 9-point Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm. Demons have taken their masks off. All right, here's another question of the day, everybody. If you went to school in the 70s, 80s, or today, we're going to give you the best of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. On WTNAM, your choice in all the best music. Blah. I want to play you music. Blah. All right, here's a question of the day. If you went to school in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, how many kids did you know with gender dysphoria? Anyone? We said none. People were into who they liked, they dressed how they liked, and people generally got along. And everything's been weaponized since. Decades of deception, confusion, and radicalization. We need a full enema of our college education system, top to bottom, now. And we gave it the hashtag TNAM School Indoctrination Network. By the way, that is one of our private, I never really tell you about our private groups on Facebook, but you should join. TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show. And then we also have TNAM's School Indoctrination Network, SIN, SIN. School Indoctrination Network, to confuse the kids. Busy parents struggling to put food on the table. Parents struggling to put food on the table. And they give their kid to a public indoctrination center to like be filled with rage and hatred, to turn into that lady who's going to blow apart a memorial. Kenneth knew none suffering from gender dysphoria. Trash Panda knew none who are suffering from gender dysphoria. They call it a mind virus, a woke mind virus that swept the nation. So there's this note. This is allegedly supposed to be a conversation between the alleged shooter and the roommate, Robinson. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson says, "I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem, Utah for a little longer yet. Shouldn't be long before I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you." Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I'd planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after. Why would he drop it? But most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson, remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UW on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. He's calling me in, not answering. Calling me right now, not answering. This is Robinson, allegedly. Since Trump got into office, my dad's been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you, says the roommate. So the Sadie said, I showed this to my 21 and 23-year-old sons, and they said, no one they know this age texts like this. They said, Mom, this is how you text. Do you know any 22-year-olds who text other kids like this? They don't use complete sentences with correct punctuation. Some people do. Hey, why are the Guardians trending? Because they're on a roll. And I'll talk about that on my sports show. Anyway, what do you make of this exchange? They're releasing some of this info. Funny how it's been so long since, who wrote that script, an 8th grader? Maybe the same person that put together that love letter to Jeffrey Epstein, about our big secret, wink, wink. It's such a secret. I want to be very public and sign my name to this thing. It's like, it just defies logic that it would be a thing. It's a shitty screenplay written by a shitty screenplay writer. The guy that builds casinos in Atlantic City, in Vegas, working with God knows what mob connections and God knows what political leaders. You got to get deals done to get the things done to get them up and get them successful. And then he's going to be winking there. Let's keep our little secret. Huh? What 7th grader wrote this? An AI script? Exactly. Why do we know more about Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in a week than we do about what happened in Butler and who hung President Trump out to dry, leaving that roof vulnerable? What are you doing? You don't leave roofs vulnerable. It's just not a thing. And that's the number one thing you look for. You fly drones and you're constantly looking at it. So Right Angle News Network is showing this video. Breaking, this college student was asked by her professor for a hot take on Charlie Kirk's death. Where's her name? Julia XU. Julia Zhu of Connecticut. Check this out. Is she a citizen or is she a Chinese? I don't know. Here, let's watch. Here's her take.
So the day after Charlie Kirk died, I was in class. My teacher said, I'll give you 5 minutes for hot takes about Charlie Kirk. I was the only person who raised their hand. I said, I've been saying we need to bring back political assassinations. I don't feel bad, and I don't think that everyone deserves the right to free speech. I think some people should be afraid to express their opinion in public.
Did you hear this? This is a domestic terror threat right here, promoting political violence, specifically.
So the day after Charlie Kirk died, I was in class. My teacher said, I'll give you 5 minutes for hot takes about Charlie Kirk. I was the only person who raised their hand. I said, I've been saying we need to bring back political assassinations. I don't feel bad, and I don't think that everyone deserves the right to free speech. I think some people should be afraid to express their opinion in public. So this class is literally about revolution in China. All of our readings for this month have been talking about how violent revolution liberated millions of people, it liberated women.
Look at this liar trying to say that communist China has liberated people. Liberation under that totalitarian hellscape. She goes by Comrade Julia, of course. Oh, look, that's all the calling cards. There's a mask on her face in her profile picture. Her eyeglasses looked like Inspector Clouseau with a massive magnifying glass, or Sherlock Holmes with a huge two magnifying glasses over her eyes. Profile called Bring Back the Guillotine. Dude, this lady needs to be arrested. Like, this is the definition of a violent radical extremist promoting specific violence against normal America. Pronouns, they, them. I'm sorry, 3.9 million likes? Huh? There's that many people this confused. What is that, a Palestine flag? Lesbian, leftist, Libra. Oberlin College student. Oberlin, they've been in the news before.
And then our reading for that day was specifically about democratic dictatorship, where Mao writes about, yes, people deserve free speech, but there should not be free speech for reactionaries and
reactionaries. Let's get the definition of reactionaries. We got added to a group one time, Reactionaries Speak. So I think they mean it as a slander. A person or stance opposing progressive or revolutionary change, favoring a return to previous state or traditional order perceived as more stable or desirable. That's a weird definition for reactionary. Resisting modern reforms, advocating for the restoration of past social, political, or cultural systems. Yeah, they hate traditional family values and structures. They're radically indoctrinated. Tied to movements like the French Revolution. In modern times, resistance to social justice reforms or technological shifts, they say.
imperialists and like capitalists and all these people who were enemies of the revolution, because that would reverse the progress that was made.
This is lunatic fringe shit. This sick communist, says Douglas Mackey, child of privilege and luxury, a red diaper baby, graduated from Choate Rosemary with boarding being $72,000 a year, and now attends Oberlin College, $89,000 a year. That's $650,000 to educate they, them to be a non-binary commie. Oberlin College in Ohio, USA, was founded in 1833 by Presbyterian ministers John J. Shippard and Philo Penfield Stewart, emphasizing Christian values, social reform, and liberal arts education. So, how does a student there end up getting indoctrinated by Maoist, Marxist, communist rhetoric about killing counter-revolutionaries? We got a problem. Oberlin, Oberlin, Oberlin. Why do we remember Oberlin? Will this not play? Gibson's Bakery was slammed in the cancel culture of the left, and they ended up receiving a complete payment of $36.59 million from Oberlin College in a defamation suit. Oberlin is completely lost. That place needs an enema completely. Douglas Mackey also has an update on the likely Oberlin College professor allegedly advocating for political assassinations and teaching his students that massive political violence during the Communist Chinese Revolution liberated the people. Meet Professor Mark Bletcher. There's his number, 440, to contact. Maybe contact Oberlin schools and say, this is not acceptable in America. You need to get rid of this class and get rid of this person. What the fuck are you doing at your college? What are you promoting? Cranking out little terrorists? This nation needs an enema of this stuff. It has to be changed. Is this breaking? The Fed has cut rates 25 BPS. Fed says that the downside risks to employment have risen. Median projection shows 50 BPS more rate cuts in 2025. Send it. Dovish, send it. I mean, 25 BPS, is that the equivalent? Explain a 25 BPS rate cut. Is that a quarter point? Quarter point, USA. A basis, okay, BPS is basis point. Basis points. 1/100th of a percentage point, 0.01. Therefore, 25 basis points equals 0.25 or a quarter of a percentage point. Yeah, you need to cut it by 400. Like, this is so stupid. Stop stealing our fucking money. Too late, Powell strikes again. I know, look at her pronouns, exactly. David, I'm tired of all this crazy shit. I know. Crazy shit here, crazy shit there, crazy shit everywhere. And it's weird that I put the New American Media up in the corner and then it disappears throughout every show. I never unclick it, but it disappears. Maybe it's when I go to this and then actually, if I go to this and I leave it, that's what's happening. It takes it off the screen. Okay. I think I figured it out. All right, so the Fed has dropped rates. Not enough. Like we need drop 200, 300 points. Like, just let's go. All right, here's an ABC reporter. You know, you heard what Montel Williams was saying. This ABC reporter is doing it the same way. So sympathetic to the killer.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching. And
oh, it was very touching. No, it wasn't.
Placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching. And
no, it wasn't. It was very touching. No, it wasn't.
Murder weapon, where it was hidden.
It's psychopathic.
How it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspects.
An intimate portrait? What are you doing with this flowery language crap?
Between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So a very interesting and, as Pierre said, riveting press conference, David.
It was Tyler.
It's ABC. What is this? John Brenneman, there you go. He called Beto Abbott out for failing Texas. Brian Harrison's reporting it's worse that I just found out Texas State University is literally indoctrinating students in transgender resistance and transgender justice. Com 33161. LGBT people and their resistance theorize how navigate their holistic identities and create LGBT justice across communication practices, cultures, and structures. Resistance and justice. Violence, maybe. They're doing this with Texas tax dollars. Why would Governor Abbott be great with this? Right Pulse News reminds us Senate Leader John Thune has been blocking Trump's nominees for the last 5 weeks and has yet to censure Adam Schiff. Do you agree that John Thune should be removed? Amy Fan West says what is happening in the Pacific Palisades is deeply disturbing. Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass have made it clear that instead of empowering families who tragically lost their homes in the fire to rebuild, they are using this tragedy as an opportunity to push forward their own pet projects of government-controlled low-income housing. This is nothing short of a government land grab. By denying people the basic right to restore their homes and communities, Newsom and Bass are stripping Californians of their property rights and using the force of government to advance their agenda. This is wrong. This is disturbing. California families deserve the dignity of rebuilding their lives, not to have their land taken and turned into political projects. I stand with the people of Los Angeles who lost everything and will continue to fight against this abuse of power, says Amy Fan West, who's a councilwoman, entrepreneur, and a VA homeschool mom. Is that Virginia or Veterans Affairs? Virginia, probably. Is this a real image? My God. Look at that. How do I full screen it? Look at that. I've been up and down the PCH so many times. I feel very connected to that area, and shame on California for everything they've done and everything they're doing. President Trump, Wall Street Apes says Trump literally just confirmed the Pacific Palisades fire was a land grab. President Trump said, shockingly, I just learned Gavin Newsom, governor of California, is in the final stages of approval building low-income housing in Palisades. How unfair is that to the people that have suffered so much? California has a lot of desert area. If you want to build low-income housing, you build it in a place that people aren't already building, not in the prime real estate of your area. Any developer would obviously know this. How unfair is that to the people that suffered so much? Newsom allowed their houses to burn by not accepting hundreds of millions of gallons of water from the Pacific Northwest, and now the low-income housing starts rising long before he gets permits for California citizens to rebuild, but long after the federal permits were issued. Lee Zeldin, EPA administrator, and I, as president, have done the job and produced all permits long before anybody expected that to happen. Unfortunately, the governor of California and Mayor Karen Bass failed you. Gavin Newsom's plan to build low-income housing at the super luxury Pacific Palisades fire site is what caused the destruction of the late, great New York City Mayor John Lindsay's political career. And John Lindsay was a Republican. And folks, I think that's what I wanted to share with you today. Yeah. And the squatters are getting on their property with a new address, claiming property from the real owners. And if you get somebody that breaks into your place, it's a nightmare to get an invader out in California. It's actually probably the reason why I sold. I would have liked to keep that place and rent it forever. I could not do business in a place like California that was going to abuse its people that way. I knew that I was going to be next. I went through the COVID craze. They wouldn't let you evict people. It's like, if they're not paying, I can't pay the mortgage. So you have to get rid of them or else I go belly up. What did I do wrong here? I'm the one person in this equation that hasn't lied to somebody or stolen from them. Like, you can't even kick people out if they stop paying. I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving California. I can't do this. You know, I had to do it, and it allowed me to land here, and it's good. You call 811? What is 811? No, stuff that's happening in California is insane. And look, I'm happy the Federal Reserve dropped their interest rates by a quarter point, but that's not enough. We need drop it 2 points, 3 points, so everybody can refinance back to where we were. Yeah, I am personally impacted by the doubling of the interest rates over the past couple of years. Every month, I flip off a couple extra $100 bills that I flush down the toilet, all because the interest rate went from here to here. Oh, call before you. I thought there's 611. Is that 811? Cancerfornia. I don't know. Too little, too late. Too little, 100%. Too late, absolutely. Drop it one rate to 1 point, 100 BPS, 200, 300, 400. You want to see the economy zoom? No, you'll cause inflation. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of all these economists trying to tell us the proper way things should be. We don't need a Federal Reserve. We need some common sense. It's not like they're not political. They're completely political. They were dropping rates on Biden when they never should have been, raising them, keeping them the same for Trump when they need to be lowering them. It's insane. But that's the world we find ourselves in. All right, everybody. That's what I have for you today. Go out and have the best day ever. All right. Be productive. Get out and touch grass. See the sun on your eyeballs. Speak with some people. I got to have a good conversation with this guy yesterday. David. What's up, David? I invited him to follow the channel and check out the shows. Hope he does. Sharp dude. We had a lot of laughs yesterday. I was inspired, like, just, you know, Jimmy Dore's set. The first part, he's working some stuff out. Second part was pretty tried and true, and it was really, you know, Carlin-esque, calling out the bullshit and the problems in the country, much like you'll see on the Jimmy Dore show, which I've seen a couple of clips of, and I'm not a super viewer, but I've seen some clips, and he makes some sense sometimes. But I was inspired. Yeah, I felt funny yesterday. And I was cracking David up, and we hung out and had a good time and hung out some more. You got to talk to some people that you don't know. Go out, go get dinner somewhere. You don't need to get a bottle of wine, and you don't need to get the appetizer and the dessert and the extra large steak. You can just, you know, go out to eat in a reasonable way, but sit at the bar, talk to the neighbors, like, see if somebody there wants to chit chat. I don't know. Go to another place and talk to people. Like, you gotta talk to other people outside of your normal cycle. And I know we kind of get that here because all the comments, you guys are in the show. It's not guys, there's girls too. Shut up. My iota. You see, he just called for violence, but he's saying the calls for violence are wrong. The whataboutism, it's so wacky. But yeah, talk to people that you don't know. Have some new conversations. Meet some new people. You never know. The next person you meet could drastically change your life in a good way. Or bad. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared to get out there and do something. So our show, Strictly Football, will be back on Friday, 2:30 or 3:30. I'll double check. I didn't follow up with it, but something like that. I think it'll end up being 5:30 my time, perhaps. I think it'll be after the regularly scheduled program here on the TNAM Daily Show. So stay tuned. Marion likes a good bottle of wine. I got a question about wine. Marion, how old are you? And what wine do you get? How old are you and what type of wine do you get? My brother was a sommelier. And that's a very hard accreditation to locate, to attain, difficult to attain. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I ended up getting a lot of my brother's bottles of wine from his personal collection. I don't drink wine all that much, but now I got a bunch of wine and I should probably go through it. Every bottle of wine is a story. Every bottle of wine is it's a shared memory. You know? Yeah, just there. Should have been popping those bottles at all the Easters and Christmases and Thanksgivings is. Instead, now I got just a pile of boxes and nobody to drink them with. But yeah, but he found a wide variety. To the wine drinkers, what type of wine do you like? I mean, I've had phases where I would have, I mean, to say anything sounds a little weird, but anything was probably the type of wine that I would, sometimes sweeter like a Zin or a Chardonnay or a blend. Sometimes something a little bitter, the tannins of a Merlot. Wine is just grapes gone bad. Grapes gone wild. All right, fine. Get the bottle of wine. Go ahead and get the bottle of wine. But yeah, and you know what? I was communicating with somebody else somebody I recently, I'm just meeting new people and having new conversations. And this one person brought up that, yeah, Anthony Bourdain, you know, I like what he said. Go to a place you don't normally go, get happy hour, talk to the bartender, talk to the person next to you, eat a meal, like just go to different places, like live. That's our experience. And I told that David guy that I was talking to, like, you know, if it's just a video game, I walked over and I pressed X. There's a little bubble over your head, and we're like, now we're talking. Like, it's just a video game. We're playing it. But yeah, anyway, I told that person who brought up Anthony Bourdain, I go, have you ever read it? They go, no. You know, once I find my next job and settle in, that is something I'd probably end up buying that book. I go, I got an extra copy. Like, oh, that's sweet. All right, I'll give it to you. No, you pass around books. Like, that's good. But Anthony Bourdain was a big advocate of getting out there, go out to a restaurant, meet some new people, have some new conversations. So that's the human experience. So that's my advice to you today. Go out and touch grass, get some sun, go out, meet new people, say hello, have conversations, live your life, open up a little bit. Every day could be the last. So what are we holding back? What are we holding back on? I would argue maybe not a good idea to hold back. Let it all loose. Trash Panda says, I used to make wine, a bunch of it. In fact, I have peach wine now that I made. That's awesome. And that was my conversation back to that person. That person's super into bourbon. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But I'm like, yeah, I used to brew beer. I still have the kit in my garage. I need to get that set up again. So I hope to get that set up again. Actually, fingers crossed. Get my beer brewing station on. Anyway, I appreciate you all for being here. And I'll be back again tomorrow at noon. Until next time, TNAM Trash Pandas, I appreciate you. I love you. And we will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.